Hey, it's time for Football 101. Dave Wyman here from Wyman and Bob, and going to look at a trap play on offense. We're going to do offense today. So, yeah, it's just interesting to me that how the Seahawks used this against Philadelphia last year. So the trap play, and I talked to legendary Snohomish coach Ed Lucero and asked him why did they call it the trap play, and he thinks it's because, and I agree with him, that you sort of trap the three technique, which is, inside shade of the guard is the one, head up is two, and in this case he's the three, and that guy gets trapped, and we'll kind of explain it, but that's where sort of that comes from. It's a beautiful play if it's executed right, and in these two situations the Seahawks executed them perfectly. So, and I don't remember last year in Week 12 against the Eagles that they were teeing up and flying upfield, their defensive line, but they sure were on Monday night, and so that's why I think this play worked so well. But it was interesting to see, this is a 58-yard touchdown to Rashad Penny. And a little bit different because in this case they have 7 in the box. First of all, 1st and 20, okay? So a lot of defenses are going to be pinning their ears back and rushing the quarterback. So this is why it's a great run call right here. As a matter of fact, in the NFC Championship game, the 49ers ran a trap play against the Green Bay Packers on 3rd and 8, I believe. And it was just a brilliant call. It ended up being a touchdown. But it's just, you kind of catch the three technique here, the tackle, the D tackle, by surprise, because basically nobody blocks him. And when that happens, he's like, okay, where's it coming from? And then boom, he gets blindsided. So first it starts with the center with a block down here. And then here's the trap block where, these guys are just heading upfield to block the linebackers here. So this guy sometimes will almost like fall forward a little bit thinking he's going to get some resistance. And these guys both just sort of desert him and leave him there to be blown up. In this case, the tight end is here in the box. And so he makes sure, usually you don't even have to block this guy. And a lot of times you don't have to block this guy either. And so it was Jacob Hollister here. He just kind of feathers him a little bit, make sure he can't get to the play, and then he gets up on the DB. So you've got everybody blocked here, and the handoff goes inside and kind of goes this way outside. And it's really up to the running back to kind of read the blocks as he goes. So really good job by Rashad Penny. And then the other night, same thing. This ended up being a 16-yard touchdown for Chris Carson. And again, these guys were just teeing off. Their defensive ends just flying upfield. Really, their D tackles were too. So just a little bit different look here because they spread them out. And this time they only have 6 in the box. So I thought this was great. And then down the field, Carson gets some great blocks down here. But here is the trap guy right here, and he's lined up outside. I thought that the best block was Damian Lewis because he kind of sets him up a little bit, like he kind of goes to him like he's going to block him and then disappears. And that little split second where the D tackle is all of a sudden like, why is this guy not blocking me? Boom, all of a sudden you get, blindsided by Mike Iupati. So really good job by him, but he gets up here. It starts with the block back by Posick, the pull here by Iupati to blow up this guy right there. And then you get Damian Lewis, who went upfield, blocked the backer. And again, not even blocking these guys, not even worrying about these guys. Just kind of, the right tackle, he kind of just feathered him a little bit, just enough to get him upfield. And then on this side, they didn't even block him because he can't get there. Carson just kind of right up the middle, went this way, and he went way outside. And there were some receivers out there blocking, and this is the one where he is like fighting and running into blockers. He's running into his own guys. He's running into defensive backs. I think Rabel described it as him dragging half of the Philadelphia defense into the end zone, but it ended up being a touchdown for Chris Carson. Let's take a look at it on film. All right, here we go. This is 2019. I believe this is a 1st and 20 play. So again, you're expecting these guys to fly upfield. They're thinking probably pass, and this is why trap is such a great call, great running call especially. But here's what you're going to get from, and it's kind of cool to look at it from the end zone, where I think one of the key things is these two guys right here, this guy's expecting, and I've seen D tackles actually fall down because they're expecting a double team or a block, and they don't get it, and they're expecting that pressure. But what ends up happening here is DJ Fluker goes up to the linebacker here, and Jermaine Ifedi goes up to the linebacker here, and he kind of hesitates, and then all of a sudden here comes Mike Iupati and just wham. So now all of a sudden you've got this guy sealed off, this guy sealed off, and he is sealed off, and eventually what you get is Penny running through that gap right there. And you can see right here, the three technique right there is just kind of on his heels, and Iupati's got him. And the other thing is you have to read blocks. So it looks like right away that this is going to be a seal here, and that maybe he would run up here, but you can see that Jermaine is pushing this guy. So Penny ends up cutting it back underneath there. So every play is different, and it's basically on the running back to just have to read that block. And Penny reads it well. So you see Hollister up here, he's got a block. There's DJ Fluker finishing off his block. So, and now he's just got to make a move, and he ends up getting outside, and this guy really attempts a poor tackle downfield. But there you go, he's off to the races. And yeah, just one last shot of all the green in front of Rashad Penny. And so hopefully Rashad comes back. We'll see. He's on IR still, but he can get it done. All right, here's this year's trap play. Similar situation, down in distance, 2nd and 16, that looks like a passing down for these guys that are going to just go flying upfield. And this guy gets blocked by Abuehi because he really doesn't have anybody to block. And this guy, they just let go. So, but here's what you're going to get. And we talked about this on the board, that the block back by Posick. And then here's the trap guy, the three technique. He's sort of outside shoulder of this guard. He's not getting blocked by anybody because Lewis does a good job of kind of hesitating and then going up to the linebacker. So he's thinking, hey, what's going on? Boom. There's the trap guy. So, Carson ends up taking this path. And here we go. There's the block back by Posick. Dwayne Brown, number 50, has zero chance of getting past him. This is a pretty key block right here. This is a fairly easy block, the trap block, because it's set up so well. But again, Barnett, 96, who was just a total terror the whole night, they just leave him alone, and he's kind of thinking maybe Russ might keep this, so that's what's slowing him down. And then just get a block upfield here by this tackle. But Carson ends up, again, reading the blocks. If he'd come on this side, he might have kept it more north-south, but he's on this side of the block, so Carson cuts it back that way. And here he is. There's the block there by Damian Lewis. And now for Carson, he's thinking, okay, I'm going to go get behind my blockers, which was Freddie Swain and Jacob Hollister, and he ends up muscling his way into the end zone for a touchdown. And then here's Carson. I mean, look, he gets contacted at the 8-yard line, does that look like maybe? Blockers here, and here. But he ends up running into both of these guys, but after contact, he somehow finds a way to keep his body up off the ground and score a touchdown. Love Chris Carson. It was so great having him back. And just a really good call by Brian Schottenheimer to kind of slow down that pass rush, slow down how aggressive they were being, the Philadelphia Eagles at the line of scrimmage, and hit them with just a quick hitter right up the middle, right up the gut for a touchdown. Football 101 is brought to you by Heritage Distilling Company, makers of BSB, Brown Sugar Bourbon.